Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elle, and today I'm going to be doing a romance book recommendation for you that I was inspired to make from Tori from Live a Novel Life. She did this video a couple days ago and I really love the idea, and so I will link down her video down below. But this video is a book recommendations for reformed playboys. So I thought this was such a fun idea, so let's get right into this video. The first book I want to talk about is Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. So this one I feel like is the epitome of a reformed playboy. So our heroine is a flight attendant and she is starting this new job where she is going to be one of the consistently flight attendants for the hockey team of Chicago. And so she meets one of the hockey players, Xander's, and he really takes a liking to her, but she does not want to engage with him because that would break her contract. There is a no fraternization clause, so they can't do anything because of that. And just because of her morals, she's like, I don't want to date this guy who is paints his picture of himself as this playboy. He's with all of these different girls. He has a list in his phone of a girl in every city, and she's like, I don't want to deal with that. But then they start hanging out more and more while they are traveling together. And they kind of start up a romance, and he really has to prove to her that he is not just this playboy guy. He really wants a real relationship with her, and it is just so good. There's so much angst because she doesn't want to fall for him, but she is falling for him. And I really love the parts of this book where the heroine actually volunteers at a animal shelter. I don't think it's just a dog shelter, but there's lots of cute animal content, and he kind of bribes her with different things. He has a niece that's adorable, and so he'll bring she lives in the same apartment as them, and he'll bring his niece to her door and be like, will you please date me? Or he bought a dog from the shelter, and because he actually wanted a dog, not just to prove to her that he could be who she wanted him to be, but he purchased a dog, or adopted a dog, and he brings the dog around her Rosie wants to us to date. And I just really love this book. There are so many cute doggy moments and lots of chemistry between them. Kind of hate to love a little bit. Well, not hate to love at first. It was more dislike to love. She really did not want to like him. He really annoyed her at first because he was so insistent, but she wanted to be with him too. I just love Mile High. It is so good, so funny, such a great romance. The next book I want to talk about is The Frat Boy by Nikki Sloan. So this one's a really fun romance, super spicy also. So our hero and heroine are from rival sororities and fraternities, and there's this relay race thing where they relay against each other and they win a prize money at the end. And the heroine sees the hero's fraternity cheat and win, and she's like, you guys cheated, that's not okay. And they get into this big fight where both the hero and the heroine get ousted from their sorority and fraternity, and they need to find somewhere to live. So the heroine answers this ad in the paper for this really nice house, but you will have to do adult videos. And so she goes to audition for the adult videos, and she sees the hero there, and they have to audition together for an adult video, and it is so good. They absolutely hate each other, but they have so much tension and chemistry with each other on screen. And so doing these scenes are making them kind of start to get feelings for each other, but they hate each other, and it is so good. The hero is a known playboy. He's known for having lots of girls, and so he really changes a little bit, but also he kind of delves into that for these adult videos. And I really love this one. It was so good, super spicy, but a really good romance, and I just really love this one. The next book I'm going to talk about is Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone. So our hero and heroine actually meet on an airplane, and their plane is actually about to crash, and they kind of hold on to dear life for each other and are we're gonna get through this this crazy moment of their life flashing before their eyes. So they have this after they survive it, they have this night of just hanging out and really getting to know each other. Then they never see each other again, or so they think, until the heroine is starting her new job where she is working for her father, who owns a hockey team in Vancouver, I think, or like Canada, and she sees the hero there, and he is a hockey player on the team. And so this is a little bit also forbidden, and the hero is kind of a known playboy, has this like reputation in the media, and she's like, we cannot be together, like you are, you know, a playboy, but you're also like one of the players in the team, like that would not look good for us. And it's really, really good. I love this one. I listened to it on audio and ate it up. It was so good. And he really has to they have to prove to each other that they are worth it to each other, and it's really, really good. I absolutely adored this book. Definitely go check it out. The next book I'm going to talk about is Mercy by Sarah Kate. So this one is really, really good. So I loved this one. This is the 4th book in the Salacious Players Club series, and Mercy is a reverse age gap romance. And so our hero Bay is the son of Emerson from the 1st book, and so he's dealing with a lot of like trauma and healing from his dad basically like getting together with his ex-girlfriend, and he is just like, I hate the club, like I don't want anything to do with it, but he decides to take the kink quiz at the club for just for fun. It's this like app where you take a quiz and you find out your kink, and so he finds out that he is actually a submissive. And so on the other end of this, the heroine is like one of the owners of the club, and she is known as this like boss woman. She is very much like work oriented and doesn't want to go out and have relationships, but she kind of randomly decides to take the kink quiz just for fun, and she finds out that she is a dame, which means she's a dominant. And so they get matched up together, and they don't know who the other person is, and they decide to meet up and see and kind of explore this like kink together, because they both have never, you know, done this before, and they find out that who each other is, and it is hilarious. It is crazy. And then they kind of decide to just keep going with it and explore this thing together. And he has been known to he is like 22, and I think she's like 32 or in her early 30s, but he is like kind of known as a known playboy. He hurts girls, breaks girls' hearts, and he really has to prove to himself and the heroine that he is not like that, and that's not who he is. And I just really love this romance. It is so good. There's so many emotions in this because he's dealing with what's going on with his dad, and then he is trying to like figure out his feelings for the heroine, like if this is real or just the kink. And I really love this one. It is one of my favorites of the series. It was so good. The next book I want to mention is Flawless by Elsie Silver. So this is kind of a popular one, but I just like love it so much, and I wanted to give it a spotlight because I feel like so many people love Heartless and kind of forget about Flawless. Like I really loved Flawless. So Flawless is such a fun book. So our hero is a bull rider, and he basically like trash talked one of his sponsors, which was a milk company, and they basically dropped his sponsorship, and he is not getting sponsored by them anymore, and his PR team is freaking out. So they send somebody to go stay with the hero and make sure he doesn't say any like more stupid things. And the person they send is the daughter of like his like PR team, like the president of the PR team, and it is a hate to love romance between the hero and the heroine, and she has to like travel around with him while he's doing his like bull riding, and it is so good. He's like a known playboy, like he has been with lots of women, and she is very introverted, kind of doesn't really hang with like a ton of guys. And I love the parts of this book because there's some like forced proximity where there's a one bed trope, and they like hate each other. She's like, you're such a playboy, but then she kind of gets to know the real him and is like, well actually maybe you're not. And it is just so good. I really love this one. It is such a fantastic start to this series, so definitely don't skip over this when you read this series. I love it. It is so good. The next book I want to mention is The Devil's Own Duke by Lenora Bell. So if you want to read a scoundrel romance, a historical romance, I highly recommend this one. This one is so good. So our heroine, her father owns a winery, and he is a duke, and he needs to marry somebody to keep his like winery in his succession, and he is like, well, I'm not gonna marry anybody. They're trying to find like somebody who is a descendant of them that can take over it, that is a man, because if like there wasn't a man, it would just go to the heroine, but because of like society, it has to be a man. And so the hero steps up and says that he is the long lost cousin of the family, and he basically takes over the dukedom. And the hero is a known scoundrel, a rake. He is known as like a playboy, a bad boy. He, I think, either owns a pleasure club or like a club of some sort. And the heroine absolutely hates him. Like, she thinks that this is all a ruse, that he is saying that he is like the long lost cousin, and she hates him. And so it's kind of the start of their romance, and they kind of agree to like a marriage of convenience where he can take over the dukedom if she gets to keep the winery, and she and him have this like hate to love romance, but then it's starting to catch feelings for each other because they're learning more about each other and like what makes each other them. And I just really love this one. It's a little bit slow burn, and I just love Lenora Bell's writing. It's really good. He definitely feels a ton of chemistry between them at first, and she's like, get away, you're like, I hate you. But she feels it too, and it is just so good. Highly, highly recommend. Next book and last book I want to mention is The Savage by Sophie Lark. So this is the, I think, 5th book in the Kingmaker series. So this is like kind of a part of the series, but kind of not. It's like Sophie Lark, like so many people loved the characters, these two characters that made like appearances in the past book, that she decided to make their own book. And so they are both kind of known like playboys. Like, she has been with lots of people and he has been with lots of people. And so this is a mafia romance, and Sabrina is this is like after she's been at Kingmakers, which is like the mafia university, and she is deciding to go with the hero Adric to work with him in the Russian mafia. And they both just want to kind of have a good time with each other, but it kind of flourishes into a romance. It's really, really good. Like, my brain is a tiny bit fuzzy on the details of this book, but I remember really liking it. They're both kind of playboys, and I think that Sabrina is bisexual, so there's some really good like scenes, where some spicy scenes where they have some other people in the mix. But I really like this one. I really like Sabrina and Adric's characters. They both are very headstrong and super smart, and there's lots of like suspense in this one with like mafia stuff going on. I really liked it. I think you don't have to read the like whole series, but I do recommend doing it if you're going to read this one. But I really liked it. Definitely go check out the Kingmaker series because it is amazing. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love like reformed playboys. I think they're really fun. I feel like we see a lot more of reformed playboys in historical romances, like even in Bridgerton. Like Simon, he I think is definitely a reformed playboy because he is known as being like, a lot of heroes in historical romances are scoundrels, which means that they have been around a lot and society knows that. And I just love them in historical romances. I really love this trope. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.